Madi Diaz. How's it going?
What's up, dude?
I am so happy to have you here this morning. And like, we already did sound check, so even 45 seconds of you singing was like the best thing I've heard all day. So,
oh my God, we're done here.
We're done. That's it. We're good. Nobody else needs to hear it anyway.
Thanks so much, guys.
But you just put out your brand new album last Friday, Weird Faith. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It is phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
Also, thanks for squeezing us in between like Jimmy Fallon and the CBS morning show.
Oh my God. Thank you for having me, honestly. Really.
Like, you've been, I feel like, everywhere lately, which is impressive.
Or like terrifying, maybe? Like,
terrifying? I don't know.
Right
I guess that's a good question. Is it terrifying? Is it impressive? Is it what?
No, it's really hilarious and fun for me to try and be everywhere all at once.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be exciting though. Putting out a new album and then just being, because it's not a guarantee that putting out a new album means people are going to hear a new album. So I just think it's so cool that like you're getting this level of attention.
I mean, it's still not guaranteed, but I'm doing my best. And it has been like an incredibly cathartic experience, and yeah, just really special. Super, super emo grateful. Like yesterday, the Grimey's in store, like it was just like, it turned into such an I love you man moment. Like this city is just everything to me, you know?
I mean, Nashville is just, I'm biased because I've lived here now for 13 years maybe, but like it is such a special place. I really feel that. And I know, like, I saw you wrote an Instagram post like kind of specifically about just Nashville and how special it is. And like, yeah, I have to imagine that affects your writing and your music and everything. Like, does that play a part in you creating your art?
Yeah, I think, Nashville has always allowed me the space to get like just kind of closer to myself, and like the space to feel really close to, I think, by getting closer to myself, it brings me closer to my friends, closer to my community. And I don't know. Yeah, I totally did post about it because I really like, I'm constantly thinking like the most cheeseball stuff. I mean, just the most like drippy, gooey, lovey stuff over the last week.
That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
I just couldn't help it. I mean, I really like, it sounds so lame when, I write it out, but like, it just is so deeply true. And I'm just like, I'm so grateful and blown away by like how over the years, like just even when there was nothing going on, and there was definitely like we just talked about it, there was definitely like a 7-8 year period where there was like deeply nothing going on. And like the way this community has continued to like support me even through like my nothing low moments is like pretty wild.
I genuinely, and I mean this, do not think that's cheesy at all. Like I really think, I think that appreciating things is just like a good way to live life, but it's also like, it's so important, especially like community and art is so intertwined.
Yeah, man.
Well, before we keep talking, do you want to play us a song from your new album? What do you want to start with?
Can I do Everything Almost?
Yes, you definitely can.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. Is this something I can say I know? Or is this me being painfully, eternally hopeful? Oh God, you have no idea what you're doing, but I do. On the 9th of May I wrote it down. I found the journal when I was moving into your house. A big love, those are the words. It was gonna be big love. Is it gonna be okay if you keep some things just for you and I keep some things just for me? Is it okay if we give each other almost everything? Everything, almost everything, almost. I had a dream there was a baby inside of me, one hand on my belly, the other one pointing, ordering you around the house like a bitch, and you just laughing and taking it. And then I think about my parents, and what if they're not here to see it? I don't think that I could handle it, don't want to start believing it, so I completely avoid it. Is it gonna be okay if we really do this? Build a family, build a life.
Lightning 100. That is Madi Diaz live here in the Volume.com studio with everything almost from her brand new album, Weird Faith, which just came out on Friday. And man, what an amazing song. I always think like, I know I'm not the first person to say this, but I always think like a song that translates just as well, like just you and acoustic guitar as it does, and like fully produced album version is like the best sign of writing.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about that new song? Or
Well, even just like speaking to that, I feel like that's like the test, right? You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like that's like the song test. It's like if the song can stand on its two legs with just like guitar and vocal, or like piano and vocal, or just like, I don't know,
whatever the
hand
the
clapping
super
vocal.
stripped down version is, hand clap and vocal.
Yeah,
that's
just like the least amount of stuff possible. I feel like that's like the surest way.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like that's why it's so fun to do these in studios, because not always, but usually it is just a person and a guitar or a keyboard or something. And like it's such a fun way to experience people's writing and hear it in its most like pure stripped down form.
Yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about Weird Faith. Like, I love the title of that album so much, and it's so compelling, and it feels like it could mean so many things to so many people. But what drew you to that phrase? Like, where'd you come up with that?
I mean, for me, it just kind of came out in conversation, which is kind of how I feel like a lot of songs, tend to find me generally. It's not usually out of like a very silent moment that like song ideas or titles, like it usually comes up in like conversations with friends or people that I work with, but Weird Faith came about. I was talking to Lori McKenna. We were had a writing session together, and it's like mid-pandemic, or really like early end pandemic, like July 2020. And we were just talking about like state of the world and like relationships, and like suddenly I had a label again, and I hadn't in a really long time, and suddenly like I had this like incredible manager and team around me, and I found myself like falling into like relationship, like personal relationship love again, and everything was happening so fast, and it was all freaking me out so hard. And I remember just saying, like, because so many crazy things have happened, and especially in like my years like 2016 to through the pandemic were like particularly bizarre, just like strange. And like, I just kind of said to her at some point, like, I'm just trying to like, hold on to some weird faith that it's like all going to work out and everything is going to be okay. And then it just kind of sort of became like the mantra, and Lori even was the one that like caught me saying that and was like, that is a song. Like we have to write that song.
It's such a good phrase. And like, I know this is one of those, like, I promise I wasn't digging through like every tweet you've ever tweeted, but I happened to see one from like last July where you used that phrase, which I'm pretty sure was before you announced at least the name of the album.
Was, yeah.
And I was like, wow, I wonder if that was like intentional or if that's just like a thing that you've been saying a lot. But
I think especially around that specific time, like I was in a band. I don't find myself in people's bands very often, and like life was just like really giant and moving really quickly, and I
like out in Harry Styles' band.
in his band.
Yeah, which like that's like mega crazy huge.
Well, right.
Tour. Wow.
It was such a wild experience, and like I found myself like using Weird Faith as like the mantra like more and more while I was out there. So it was just like, I want to start saying this out loud because like it feels like I want to call that in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I feel like for you it's almost like go with the flow, but slightly more like hopeful. Yeah. Not that that's a not hopeful phrase, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it's
got
like
a go with the flow, but with a little pep in your step.
Yeah, love that. Great. That can be the next album name.
Yeah, totally.
I've got Madi Diaz live here in the Volume.com studio talking about her brand new album, Weird Faith. You're also about to kick off a tour next week, I think is when you kick that off. Wow. That's so, again, just diving in. And have you been playing a lot of these songs live, or is this going to be kind of like the first unveiling of a lot of these?
It's pretty fresh. I mean, even like when we played, I had my Fallon, late night TV debut, or at least on Fallon, last Friday, and I was like, oh my god, this is like the first time we've done this. Like, this is the first time we've played this song. Oh my god!
And it's on national television.
And it's on national television, which was definitely like, I just walked into it and like was so calm about it, and then like while it was happening, I was like, oh my god, is my skin falling off my body? This is really happening. But I'm excited. I feel like tour is like my favorite way to like remember, why I love a song, or like, reapply it, or, just like it becomes like the soothing salve balm that, like kind of carries me through the shows.
And I mean, I have to imagine it lends like a totally different, maybe not meaning to the songs, but they're in a different life now because they're out in the world. They're not just for you and your friends who I'm sure have been listening to these for a while.
Totally. Well, and I feel like that's like my favorite part of tour is that like it stops becoming like so internal and like inward facing and becomes like, I don't know, like we're sharing it now. And like, thank God we're sharing it now. And like people get to show up and like I get to show up and we just get to like, I don't know, be in a space together and like feel the thing,
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that make sense?
No, it definitely, I get it. It makes sense for
like
sure.
It's before noon. I just had my first cup of
No,
coffee.
I always get the people in the morning. So it's like, I am a morning person. I feel like often musicians are not. So this is an odd time for a lot of people.
Oh man, I love it.
I also want to talk to you about writing this album because, I mean, the writing, just amazing. But I also know, like, you mentioned writing with Laurie McKenna. I know you wrote with Olivia Barton, who's opening some of your shows on this tour. And this is something that probably feels fairly obvious to people like you who do co-writes and stuff. But, like, to someone like me, I always think it's so interesting because your songs feel so personal. So the idea of like having another voice in the room, having someone writing you with those, like how does that work? What is the balance there?
I think that's like kind of one of my favorite tricks of songwriting is like, how can I make this about all of us? And how can I keep this conversation? I mean, it's like, when you're talking to a friend and you're trying to just relate, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's just such a like vacuous, like weird, like all about you experience, it's hard to like have a conversation with somebody in a way that like, we can kind of like emote and feel connected through, So I feel like that's like one of my favorite parts of songwriting is like, I don't know, taking something really personal. And sometimes it's so personal and there's nothing I can do about it. It's so personal. Like, off the last record, there's a song called Man in Me that's like, I want to say like the second song on the record. And like, it was so specific and like so personal. And it was such a special thing to like, play that song live and have people come up to me and be like, God, I totally feel that. And it just
and you're like, really?
Right? It's like such a gift and it's like so relieving to like not have like that experience just be my experience. So it's kind of like the great experiment with songwriting always, to just like see how many people kind of raise their hands and go like, I'm here with that.
So maybe the co-writing even helps like strike that balance between the universal and the personal.
Totally.
Not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm just
that's exactly it. You basically like you summarized it. Thank you. Like I'll be here for the 5-minute answers and you be here for like the 15
you know
second.
what? I'm used to the snappy talk breaks between songs. I gotta say things in a
and I'm like, pull up a chair. Do we have time?
We have our talents, everybody does. I've got Madi Diaz live here in the Volume.com studio talking about her new album Weird Faith. Gonna be playing at Brooklyn Bowl March 8th, which I am already looking forward to. Tickets for that on sale at brooklynbowl.com. So before we dive into one more song, I had one more thing, like question I wanted to bring in. So I saw that you're doing a Reddit AMA today on Indie Heads.
I am, yeah.
I love those.
You do?
So much.
Okay, that's so great to hear. I'm like a little bit scared of Reddit. I don't know why. I think I'm just like maybe old.
I mean, Reddit's cool because like everything's in little pockets. And like Indie Heads is a great pocket.
Okay, great.
It's so fun. And also you get to pick what questions you're answering. So if somebody's being weird, you just ignore them.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah. Because
I have to remember that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I get like very like, or like by order of business-y about things.
I think there's a high chance you're going to get way more than you're going to have time for anyway. So you get to kind of like pick and choose what you do. But I love these. Like I go back and read people's like old ones all the time when I'm getting ready for interviews. Oh yeah. Because they're great to get ready for interviews. Because like, it'll be like, the Zombies. I think the Zombies did one like years ago, and like I read a bunch of their answers, and it's like super helpful because they just get archived. I'm going
so
way more into this than I meant to, but anyway, so it's really fun, and I wanted to kind of ask you a question in the spirit of an AMA.
Okay, let's go.
But I am going to tie it into your album a bit, so because your album's called Weird Faith, so I thought I would ask you, what is the strangest thing that you believe?
Oh boy. Okay.
To put you directly on the spot.
So on the spot. I have this weird, I feel like inanimate objects have feelings.
Okay.
Like
I get that.
I will like if I'm like like I'll feel like my one pillow that I sleep with like all the time. Like I'm pretty sure that like all of my other pillows are like jealous of this pillow because like it's my favorite pillow. But you know, like you just have like a bunch of pillows on your bed because that's like how, you know,
Yeah,
you're
that's
supposed to
life.
have.
And you have your
it's like-
favorite.
yeah, and you have your favorite pillow. But yeah, I think that might be the strangest thing that I believe.
I think that's a pretty good answer, actually.
pretty
Yeah, I like that answer. I
Just off the
kind
top
of
of my
have
head.
that. Like, I feel like there's certain inanimate objects that like look like they have a face, and you want to be like nicer to them. But I don't know that I do that with like straight up just like a pillow.
Just
but
like a sweet tea kettle, you know what I mean?
yeah,
like, it's
but
a
if
sweet tea kettle.
It's a sweet tea kettle.
And,
Do you
like, I don't
name
know,
a lot
like-
of your objects?
You know,
though?
I don't name them.
Okay.
I haven't gotten that far. I feel like I'm trying to draw a line there.
Honestly, I mean, I feel like that would just make it too much emotional responsibility then.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely get like a little Macaulay Culkin like Home Alone with stuff. It's like, you know, like the refrigerator definitely has like a face, and like the
Yes.
stove definitely has a face, and
Definitely.
like I don't know, like sometimes I feel bad like eating certain things, not because of what's like inside of them, but because of like the package. I can't. It's a whole thing.
Okay, great. I love it. Well, I feel like you're very prepared for the AMA now. Because it's going to be some balance between like asking about your writing and then asking about stuff like that.
Okay, I
and you'll be
love
set.
that. Okay,
Yeah.
I love that. That's great.
And
I
but-
love that. So those answers are like archived for forever.
Yes.
That's terrifying. That's really good to know. I had no idea. That's so
Yes,
funny.
you can Google like anybody who has done one. You can Google like blah 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 Reddit AMA and it'll come up.
Oh, no.
So just it's cool, but yeah, I guess be warned if you find that
Choose
scary.
wisely.
Choose wisely. Choose wisely. All right. You want to get one more song out before
I
we
would
wrap
love
up
to.
here? What
Is
do
it
you
okay
wanna-
if we play like if I play just the proverbial
I,
we?
I can join in if you want, but I promise you don't want me to.
Just give me your emotional support. Can I play a sad one?
Definitely. Yes. Yes.
It happened in your car, then again at the bar. It doesn't matter where we are, it's a pattern. You get to fall apart, you're selfish. You don't think you are, little things are the biggest part of the matter. That night you left me with your friends, I left you a little bit, then it happens again and again. Have you noticed? I've been leaving you for months now. I just haven't found a way out. I don't love you like I used to, but I don't know how to tell you. When you're happy, I'm the saddest. You're gonna hate me when it happens. Keeping a secret and I'm not proud. I've been leaving you for months now. It's not a big surprise, you've seen it in my eyes every time you make me cry. You call it tough love, and you're not happy for me, not the way you ought to be. And I'm tired of playing down all of the good stuff. I've been leaving you for months now. I just haven't found a way out. I don't love you like I used to. I just don't know how to tell you. When you're happy, I'm the saddest. You're gonna hate me when it happens. Keeping a secret and I'm not proud. I've been leaving you for months now. Oh, just don't know how to tell you. When you're happy on the saddest, you're gonna hate me when it happens. Keeping a secret and I'm not proud. I've been leaving you for months now. I've been leaving you for months now.
Lightning 100, Madi Diaz live here in the volume.com studio. Sounded so beautiful. Thank you so much for coming by this morning.
Thank you for having me. What a way to wake up.
I know, great. I'm glad we could start the day with this. Yeah, if you're listening to this and there was questions that you want to ask and I didn't ask, you can join the Reddit AMA today on Indie Heads, which I think is at 1 p.m. our time, I think, Central?
I think noon at our time.
Noon our time?
Yeah,
okay.
And just be gentle, you know what I mean? Like, I'm new at this.
Be nice. Ask some softballs.
I'm new in the Reddit world.
Throw her some bones. It's fine. It's going to be great. And also grab tickets for the show. Brooklyn Bowl, March 8th, going to be so great. Also, this is a quick side note. You were the first live music I saw coming out of the pandemic. And it's a combination of the fact that you are genuinely amazing. And I also just that was so like country bumpkin.
I love it. I loved that.
I don't know where that came from. Amazing. Oh no. Okay. But also just like the combination of how good you are and that it was like the first live music in almost 2 years. I was like, I cannot handle my feelings right now.
I'm so honored. Thank you for coming out of your cave with me.
Oh,
That's
yeah. It was at Soft Junk. It was so fun.
That was so special.